DILLS on the front line through the battles and the pains, with a camera in the fray and the world on our screens. We're the voice of the silence, the witness of the scenes. Headlines flashing bright, from the shadows we arise, with the truth in our hands under perilous skies. Every story told is a battle we fight, through the darkness and the fear we bring the light. In the chaos, in the flames, we'll stand tall, with the courage to reveal through the rise and the fall. From the embers of the war to the echoes of the call, we're the eyes of the world and we'll never stall. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines, through the blood and the fire we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. From the ruins and the wreckage, every story's told. Through the tears and the heartbreak, the bravery unfolds. In the darkest hours, when the world's torn apart, KLW brings the stories straight from the heart. With the cameras rolling through the wreckage and the pain, we capture the reality while the world remains. Every angle, every moment in the line of fire, we're the pulse of the battlefield, never to tire. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines, through the blood and the fire we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines, through the blood and the fire we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. Through the smoke and the ruins, we'll pierce the veil. With every breath we take and every tale, we're the heartbeat of the conflict in the shadowed frail. With KLW's vision, the truth won't fail. Stand firm, we're the beacon in the fray. Through the dust and the fury, we'll light the way. In the fight for the truth, where the heroes lay. KLW, the story's here to stay. KLW, we're the warriors on the front lines, through the blood and the fire we'll define the times. In the heat of the battle where the truth aligns, we're the voice of the war and the world will find. So here's to the courage and the tales we unfold. In the heart of the conflict, our story's told. KLW, with the truth we hold. In the fire of the war, our legacy bold.
You can't handle the truth.
KLW World News coming to you live here this morning. There has been a shooting in Australia at Bondi Beach. At least 10 people have been shot. 2 people are in custody. We've got news coming to you out of Australia right now. Let's go to that.
That's developing at Sydney's Bondi Beach, where a mass shooting has unfolded this evening. At this stage, it's believed at least 2 gunmen opened fire on beachgoers. There's no confirmation of just how many people have been shot or the severity of their injuries, but at this stage, police have confirmed 3 people are dead and that multiple shooters were involved. 2 people are in custody and one of the suspects is dead. I'm joined on the desk by Denham Hitchcock and Ash Raper from 10 News Plus. Thanks for being here, both of you. Denham, just take us through what we know so far. Details at this stage are a little sketchy, but there are reports filtering through.
They are. This is a...
All right, correction. It's Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach, not Bundy. Bondi.
Large breaking, unfolding event has happened at around 6:40 p.m. down the southern end of Bondi. We believe that there was a Hanukkah event that was down there, so a Jewish event. So people were down celebrating this event. There was face painting and petting zoos and kids everywhere. You can see lots of people, and the footage that we're seeing or have seen shows at least 2 gunmen firing indiscriminately into the crowd. It looks like they're firing shotguns. That's those 2 men right there. There are, as you said, 3 confirmed dead. There's reports of 10 people shot altogether.
Those are unconfirmed at this stage, though, yeah?
Yes, that's unconfirmed. 3 confirmed dead, unconfirmed reports of 10 people that have been shot. Those 2 gunmen, we're not sure if they're the ones that are in custody or not, but reports of 2 in custody, one of them potentially also shot by police.
And Ash, we've already had a response from the Prime Minister about this. What's he had to say?
Yeah, so the Prime Minister tonight has said, look, and everybody's trying to gather information, it looks like at the same time. He's in Canberra right now. He's had briefings from the Australian Federal Police. He's in talks with the New South Wales Premier. He said in a statement, we are aware of an active security situation in Bondi and we urge people in the vicinity not to go there. The Premier of New South Wales, Chris Minns, he's also put out a statement saying the reports and images coming out of Bondi tonight are deeply distressing. Police and emergency services are responding and the public should follow official advice. We will update the public as soon as more information becomes available. And we've seen the police and New South Wales Police, especially on X, updating the public as we go along. There were rumours that there was another incident happening in Dover Heights, which is a suburb in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Police have said that that is just a rumour. There is nothing happening there. So they're just focusing now on Bondi Beach and what is happening there.
Yeah, we could see there's a lot of social media footage, of course, coming in at the moment of what's been transpiring down at Bondi Beach. We're still trying to get the information from the police and confirmation of exactly what has happened. But our reporter, Chris Campy, is in Bondi. We'll be able to chat to him in just a moment. He's actually there now. Chris, what can you tell us about what's unfolded there and what's happening there right now?
Yeah, look, I'll have to be honest, a lot of what we're learning is coming through slowly. As you can see, this is a significant trauma incident. There are enormous resources in this area. We know that there have been gunshots. We know that there have been casualties. The numbers we are not clear on. There have been triage areas set up on the beach. We have seen police in tears. We've seen members of the public shocked and horrified. There were people all up and down this strip for early afternoon dinner. People initially thought they heard firecrackers. It took a while for the recognition that this was a serious threat. We've seen those social clips. They look like organised people making an attack. Now, I'll take you to a couple of people who were on the sidewalk when this all unfolded. Here's a little bit of what they had to say.
So they heard shots, they thought it was firecrackers, and then they realised people started running. And
Was it hard for people to switch it into an emergency situation? Everyone's having a good time at Christmas. Did they realise what was happening?
they thought it was firecrackers because it's Christmas, right? But it's too early, right? It's not dark.
I'm from America. This is something I expect in America, not here. Not here.
Did it have that kind of feel to it? We've seen little bits of pictures. We're starting to get a picture of what's happened. Did it feel like an American-style incident?
It kind of did, actually.
Well, when we heard and saw all the police cars and ambulances, then we thought it's pretty serious, you know? Yeah.
Now, everywhere between the metropolitan area and here at Bondi, there have been emergency services on the move, sometimes at frantic pace. They are still calling in resources. The police helicopter is hovering above us. It has been calling out messages to people in this area to stay indoors. Police have been moving people back from that foreshore area. We know that a lot of that is now a crime scene. It's unclear which part played which role. Significant numbers of police are now combing over that foreshore area. A lot of the area focused on the grass. The area behind the surf club is the high ground. We've seen a lot of tactical squads moving around. It appears the threat is over, but this investigation is still very much unfolding. You can see the activity. This is going to be going for some time.
Chris, thanks very much for joining us. We'll come back to you as soon as you've got some more information. That's Chris Campy down at Bondi Beach joining us live there. Ash Raper's here with me on the desk. Ash, you've got another update from the Prime Minister for us?
The Prime Minister has just put out another official statement. It doesn't tell us that much more, but it does say that the scenes in Bondi are shocking and distressing, and police and emergency responders are on the ground working to save lives, which suggests that there are people who have been wounded there, that they are working, and that this is a critical situation. He says, my thoughts are with every person affected. We know he's been speaking to the AFP Commissioner and the New South Wales Premier, and they're working, and so he's actively in Canberra in talks with what's happening in Sydney, and he said he will provide further updates as more information is confirmed. So even through official channels at this point, there isn't a lot of information that they can confirm. And you just look at that video coming through there, Bondi would have been packed at this time of year, and especially with that event to celebrate the first day of Hanukkah.
Look, obviously, it's a fluid situation there. We can see, obviously, New South Wales Ambulance would have set up a triage station there at the beach. A lot of those ambulances have been heading to St Vincent's Hospital, and that's where Hugh Riminton is for us tonight. Hugh, what's the situation there? Do you have any more information about just how many people have been wounded in this incident?
So we're getting no clarity on the casualty numbers at this stage. That's still being drawn together. They want that to be centralised information when it comes, rather than coming out in leaks, because at these times, we know from shootings around the world, as well as those we've previously seen in Australia, Port Arthur and so on, some of the early reports we get often are proven to be untrue. We know that there are certainly reports of fatalities, the reports of multiple injuries, but we're certainly not going to speculate as to where those numbers might ultimately land. There have been ambulances arriving here to St Vincent's Hospital. There are also, I'm told, ambulances going to RPA Hospital and possibly also, if they're needed, to St George's Hospital as well, but I can't speak for those locations. I can say we've seen people running in here, members of the public running in here in states of great distress, presumably trying to get to loved ones who've been brought here to the hospital. So the motivation, we must be very careful not to speculate on this. We do know, of course, that on a Sunday, a few days before Christmas, the full summer glories of Sydney, it's going to be a busy place. And then, of course, it is the Jewish festival of Hanukkah, the most joyful of the Jewish festivals of the year that takes place down there at Bondi Beach. The vision that has been seen, that is circulating on social media, shows at least two people walking, one of them clearly shooting, taking a long-armed weapon and firing it down in towards the crowd. Scenes that have come through that we've not been able to independently verify, but which certainly seem to be consistent with what we've seen on the ground, of mass casualties on the ground, a state of confusion and distress, people lying on the ground not moving, and with people who've put articles of clothing across their faces indicating that they may be deceased. That would certainly appear to be the import of the vision that we've seen coming from the scene. The most unbelievably distressing scenes. We're still getting a handle on it. There have been reports that other suburbs near Bondi, Dover Heights in particular, might have had an active shooter. Police have said that that is not the case. They've asked that that information not be further distributed because it's causing unnecessary alarm. The focus is very much on the Bondi Beach area, and right now the fight for life for those people who have been brought here to St Vincent's Hospital and other hospitals around Sydney. Just saw a woman walking out of here a moment ago behind me wearing a bikini and being supported as she walks away in a state of distress. That is how this evening has turned here in Sydney.
Hugh, thanks very much. I can't imagine how horrific it's been for people at Bondi Beach. We'll come back to you for more information a little later. If you've just tuned in, we've broken international programming. There's been a mass shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney. 3 people are confirmed dead. 1 person is dead, believed to be a suspect involved in the shooting, and 2 people are in police custody. But the situation is very much evolving at Bondi Beach. At this stage, there's no word on exactly how many people have been wounded in this shooting, nor do we have confirmation of anybody who's been killed at this stage. It's believed police will be giving a full briefing in an hour or 2. Denham Hitchcock's with me on the desk. Denham, you've been keeping an eye on information that's been coming in.
Yes.
Is there any new information?
Yes, there is, and I have to stress that this has not been verified by police yet, but this is still coming from sources that we trust. Some of that information is that a police officer potentially has been shot and is on the way to hospital, and that even young children may have been the victims of this shooting. These scenes are just so distressing. And where Hugh is at the moment, those hospitals have received a code brown alert. That's something that we just don't see here in Australia. That is an external disaster or a mass casualty event, and that triggers bringing staff in from wherever they are to deal with this. And you can see that police are all over it as well down there. I have a little bit more information about the event that was on at Bondi. It was a Hanukkah event at Bondi Beach, and it was meant to be taking place between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the Bondi Park Playground. It was free admission. The event was called Chanukah by the Sea, and when you look online at some of the advertising, there was a petting farm, there was face painting, so it was set up for kids. It's a joyous time. So to see these pictures that we're looking at right now is incredibly distressing.
Ash, you've been reading a statement from the Premier. He's obviously expressed horror at what's been happening on Bondi Beach. We've also heard from the Prime Minister tonight, obviously very distressed about these scenes. Police are slowly giving us updates as information is confirmed. Anything more from the police?
No, at the moment, the last update we've had from the police is about 17 minutes ago, and that seems to be where it's coming, this central...
Hear from senior police.
And then they say the CST will continue to work closely with police, government and community partners to protect Jewish life in this country, including discussions this morning to increase security and policing for Hanukkah events in the UK over the next 8 days. Very briefly, we've got about 45 seconds to go. I remember a point before we had to have checks at airports. Is this kind of thing going to change our life in that way?
Well, I think the life of Jewish people in this country has already changed in the sense that there is now security, and there has been for a number of years, even before the Israel-Gaza conflict, on synagogues, on Jewish schools. So, yes, it might change life for the rest of us, but I think we shouldn't underplay how much it feels like one community has been targeted. OK, I'm sorry, guys. We've got to stop now, and I have to pass over to my colleague, Matt Barbette, at 10 o'clock. We'll be back next week at 08:30.
Good morning. If you're just joining us, coming up to 9 o'clock, 9 people, including a child, have been killed in a mass shooting on Australia's Bondi Beach. The leader of Australia's opposition says it happened as members of the Jewish community came together for a Hanukkah celebration on the beach. 2 men were detained by armed police. We understand that one of those men is now dead as well. Our correspondent Nicole Johnston is at Bondi and joins me now live where it's 11 hours ahead of us. Good evening to you, Nicole. Just bring us the latest on what you know about what happened there in the past couple of hours.
As you said, we've had the information come through so far. 10 people killed, 9 of them were victims and 1 that's the latest information that we have, but there are reports that many people have been injured, at least 2 dozen. Now we know that this kicked off a couple of hours ago at Bondi Beach, only a couple of hundred metres down the road from here in the district. This is a vast sort of long beach area. 2 active shooters were seen on top of a pedestrian overpass in front of, above one of the main car parking areas at Bondi Beach, right near the Central Pavilion. For those who know the area, it's an area that I've walked over many times. It is incredibly busy with people, especially at this time of year. The video that we've seen, I don't think Sky News has been casting it because it is so graphic that you can hear, and when you actually look at it, you can see 2 men dressed in black carrying out multiple rounds, firing and firing from that position. So they had an elevated position towards Bondi Beach, down to the pedestrian area. There's a green space park in front of it. You also have the shops and precincts behind it. So it gave them a very good position to be carrying out an attack like this. And this is what's taken place. Now, Oh, I think if you look behind us here, you can see some of the ambulance crew. No injured people there, but we did see injured being brought out over the last 15 minutes. The road has been closed from here. Police have told people to go home, to shelter in place, but there's still a lot of people on the
from
street.
those police quarters so
many
they can
tourists.
get
The
their
main roads
equipment
to
as
Bondi.
well as personnel in and out. Police media have also confirmed that they are bringing in specialised equipment to handle what they understand to be a possible bomb threat, which is near the bridge that is between the car park and Bondi Beach, that sort of grassy knoll area just off Campbell Parade. And it's there that they're starting to work through car by car the exact threat that still might be lurking around those areas. So that bomb threat, they're not sure whether the shooters, when they came to Bondi, whether what could be in their vehicles. And so they're now meticulously working through to find out exactly whether it's safe to re-enter or not. So there is an exclusion zone in place around 50 metres circumference, and police are working. We did see some specialised devices be brought in to help with that bomb threat, and there has been some military personnel walking around that I have seen coming and going. So look, it's very much still a lively scene down here, and the wind has started to pick up quite dramatically. I mean, we had a light stand up that was blown over, so the conditions are starting to get a little bit worse as we head into this evening.
Thanks very much,
still
Digby.
continue to bring you updates.
Thanks very much. We'll come back to you. We're just going to bring in Marley Carroll. Marley, can you hear us there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Marley. You're one of the people who's been caught up in this event this afternoon. Can you tell us about what you've just lived through?
It was just like any Sunday arvo really at Bondi. There was just plenty of people down there, families, and it was a hot arvo. And I was walking back to South Bondi, back to our apartment, and we were near the grass area, and we heard, I think it was 2 shots at first, and everyone looked back. It came from North Bondi. Everyone looked back, and at first I thought, it's nothing to worry about, because you just wouldn't think something like that happening in Sydney. And then we just saw a rush of people run towards us coming from North Bondi. They were running away from the shooter to us, and that's when we realised everyone around us was just running, and people were running on the roads, car horns going off, people were crying, and I recall a group of girls running past us saying, he's shooting people, and that's just when it clicked that, like, it's actually happening. You just wouldn't think something like that to happen in Bondi and Sydney, out of all places. It was just surreal.
Oh, it sounds it, Marley. Can you talk us through what you're thinking as you're seeing all of this stuff? Were you able to think at all, or were you just concerned for your own safety?
Yeah, like, I knew I was far away from the shooters. I just couldn't, I just didn't believe it. It was just, you see this stuff happening overseas, and I've seen videos of mass shootings and how the crowd reacts, and to see it happening in real time. Restaurants were opening their doors and getting crammed with people, and the hostels along Campbell Avenue, they were just opening their doors to everyone. The buses were jam-packed, people trying to squeeze in and just running for their lives. It was surreal. I just couldn't believe it, really.
And so, Marley, you're a Bondi local. As you say, you've never seen this place like that. This is an event that you never expected to live through. What was happening? You've sort of described what was happening immediately as that shooting was happening, but what happened in the moments afterwards, the minutes and hours afterwards?
People were just, I was up on the south side of Bondi, up on the hill overlooking Bondi, just trying to get a glimpse of what was happening. We just saw everybody's bags and towels left on the beach. There was one of the lifeguard buggies. There was about a line of 20 people behind the buggy taking cover of where the shooter was, and people were just, it was just small talk between people saying the shots were still going off. This was 10 minutes after the first shot, and we could still hear it from the south end, shots going off, and we were just saying like is this really happening? No one could believe it, honestly.
And Marley, we've heard from some of our reporters who say that families are showing up to this scene looking for their loved ones. Have you seen anything like that happening? Were you talking to many of the people around you in the moments after this happened?
No, we didn't hang around too long. The people I were with, the girls, they were just really scared and they just wanted to go to the apartment. So just after quickly scoping the beach, and there was no one really distressed around me at the time because we were far away from it, but we just went into our apartment. We ran back to our apartment and we stayed there for a couple of hours.
And you're a Bondi local. You've been constantly referring to your apartment nearby. How does this change the feel of the beach, of the community? How do you foresee the next couple of days feeling?
Yeah, I feel like there'll be, I just feel like people will be very on edge. If it's happened in Bondi, I feel like it can just happen anywhere now. But there will definitely be, a lot of people on edge over the next coming weeks, especially with the New Year's Eve party meant to take place on Bondi Beach. I think, they'll be in the back of people's minds for sure if they decide to go ahead with that. But we'll see how it plays out, I guess.
Marley Carroll's one of the people who witnessed this attack. Thank you very much for joining us. Look after yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're continuing this coverage of this horrific event at Bondi that happened a couple of hours ago. We've got video of it here. Two men dressed in black on the bridge just north of the Bondi Pavilion, between Bondi Pavilion and North Bondi Surf Lifesaving Club, firing into a crowd of people celebrating Hanukkah. This, as you've heard there from that witness just then, it felt like it went on for about 10 minutes. The terrible news that's just come through in the last 15 minutes or so, 10 people dead, including one of the gunmen, 12 people injured, including 2 police officers. And scenes of heartbreak and devastation there at Bondi this afternoon, with people shot and injured. A massive response from emergency services to try to address the situation. One of the gunmen shot dead, the other in custody. Police say there were concerns there was possibly an explosive device planted in the area as well. They've said they've come across what may be a device that they're taking a look at now. They're asking people to stay away from the area. We're seeing vision of a man in a white T-shirt run up to one of these men with the gun. There we go. And tackle him, wrench the gun off him. And this is happening while the other gunman is still up on the bridge about 50 metres away and ends up firing at this man dressed in, we don't know if he's a civilian or a plainclothes police officer, but there's someone else kind of throwing, we might see it soon, kind of throws something at this man as well. And this is happening while this other gunman is up on the bridge. So the terrible news in the wake of this, 10 people dead, including one of the gunmen, and 12 people injured. We have not heard a major media conference from authorities just yet. We just heard from our reporter that we're expecting that in about 20 minutes. So we'll bring you that live here on the news channel. Just repeating that because that'll be a key moment in information on this coming through. That major media conference happening in about 20 minutes. We'll bring you that live here on the ABC News channel. Reporter Isabel Rowe is in Bondi tonight and joins us. Isabel, just unbelievable what's unfolded there this afternoon.
Well, Joe, I've been here since about 7:30 with my colleagues. As you can see behind me, this is one part of the scene, but I'm just going to turn around and show you, if you can just see through past those bus signs there, that park area, that playground area, is where this all unfolded this evening. There are obviously a lot of police still there and a lot of the media are being kept back. We've been here for some time. When I arrived this afternoon, there were still people about, the public was still standing around in shock, and it was a scene of utter chaos in that playground. There were people on the ground. There were lots of witnesses helping police, obviously ambulance. There were still police and ambulance streaming into the area as well. Eventually, police managed to get a lot of the crowd back. There were hundreds of people at Bondi. It was a really hot day today. They eventually got the crowd back and away from the area. We know that it's been obviously a distressing time for the public, but there were police officers with tears in their eyes, telling me to move on. I've spoken to witnesses who said that, as you described it, like the 10 minutes of hell, it was just utterly extraordinary.
And have most people cleared out from the area now? Because we've heard from police just in the last 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes, that there is concern that there may be, that they've come across what's suspected to be an explosive device. Have people generally cleared the area?
Yes, they have. There are a few people hanging around. Obviously, a few of the media are still here, and a few members of the public. A lot of police, a lot of ambulance officers. As you can see behind me, it is mostly clear of the public, though. There's just a life-saving headquarters here, Surf Life-Saving Club. I've seen lots of the lifesavers be part of this effort as well. They were obviously the first on the scene. This was their building, and they were just metres away when this happened. I've seen some of the surf lifesavers hosing down clean blood off their boards this evening. So extraordinarily harrowing for them, as well as the general public who've been here, who, just witnessed something. I think one of the earlier guests said that just does not happen in this country.
Yeah. Okay, Isabel Rowe reporting there from North Bondi. And just repeating once again that we're expecting that key media conference from police in about 15 minutes, and we'll bring you that live here on the news channel.
What we know so far, 10 people are dead, including one gunman. After a shooting at Bondi Beach this afternoon, a second shooter remains in police custody. 12 people were injured and have been taken to various hospitals. 2 police officers were also injured. Emergency services remain at the scene, but police have confirmed there is no active threat to the public. But police are reiterating that people should stay away from Bondi Beach despite the 2 shooters having been neutralised. There is an ongoing bomb threat in the area, police say, and they are working to disarm what they've described as an IED, or improvised explosive device. We've got a number of reporters who have been at the scene giving us their first-hand recounts of what they're seeing, stories from people on the ground. We've heard some harrowing details, people describing this as hell on earth. We heard that there was a Jewish event, a Hanukkah event happening at a playground that was underway at the time of the shooting. We've seen vision of gunmen being knocked to the ground by people in normal clothes. We don't know if that is a plainclothes police officer or a member of the public. We're waiting for this press conference in 15 minutes to have these details confirmed by authorities. We have reporters all over the place, including outside St Vincent's Hospital in Darlinghurst. Now, this is a location where 6 people have been taken. We're going to go live now to Jeremy, who is there at the hospital. Jez, what can you tell us about the scene there at St Vincent's Hospital?
Isabella, St Vincent's Hospital is only about 6 kilometres from Bondi Beach, the scene of that shooting. This is the closest hospital in metropolitan Sydney to that area. This is where the largest number of people who've been shot have been brought. We understand that a number of others, 10 others, have been taken to hospitals right across metropolitan Sydney, from the Prince of Wales Hospital, Sydney Children's Hospital, Westmead Children's Hospital, along with St George and RPA. Now, what we know is that a number of staff here have been called in because of the surge of patients this evening. This area is only a short distance, of course, from where the Bondi Junction stabbings took place in April of last year. We understand that while the patients have been brought here, we don't know the condition of those patients, so we're waiting to hear about that. There is a media contingent here. We've seen in the last 45 minutes or so a number of ambulances arrive under police escort And after that, a number of police vehicles arriving with people rushing in. We don't know what their association is to those people who are in the hospital. We are waiting for updates on their conditions now.
And Jez, it sounds like just standing outside that hospital, you do get a sense of the emergency that is unfolded in Sydney this afternoon.
Absolutely, Isabella. Look, I mean, the people are just absolutely struck by this evening. I was on air with the 7 p.m. news in New South Wales as this story broke, and I can tell you the feeling in the newsroom was one of familiarity, that this has happened only a short time ago, that the city was quite struck by the Bondi Junction stabbings, and here we are just before Christmas with this happening. And so, yeah, it really has captured the city. There are people texting left, right and centre, checking that being a Sunday morning in Sydney, people are checking on each other, making sure that, you know, those they know who live in the area, who go to Bondi Beach, who enjoy a Sunday morning in the water, are safe this evening.
Jez, as you say, this is a community that has been traumatised before. Many people on edge waiting for more news. Thank you so much for those updates outside St Vincent's Hospital. We're just going to move back to our reporter Digby Worthmuller, who is at Bondi Beach. He is at that scene where there was a shooting earlier today. Digby, we understand you've got someone there who has witnessed what's happened today.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just here at the exclusion zone here in Bondi, and I'm speaking here with Finn. Now, Finn, you were down at Bondi at the time this all happened. Now, just through what you saw, can you just run me through what exactly you saw?
So my apartment's on Campbell, where it all was happening. And at the time, I was currently on FaceTime with my family from back home in London. And I just heard a few like fireworks going off. That's what it sounded like anyway. So I sort of took my mum to have a look, see what was going on, almost show her the view in a way. And the next thing you know, I saw a white car with a guy shooting, firing from his car. And then I saw, there was an older lady who was killed. They've got on the left-hand side. So I just didn't know what to do. And my parents were saying, on call, take cover, take cover, take cover. So everyone ran in. So I ran over to my bedroom. And where my apartment block is, the security isn't great. Like, the locks aren't amazing. So I didn't know where to hide. I can't go into my bed. So I went in my wardrobe, shut the door. And I just kept hearing, like, gunshots going off and off and off. So I was trying to just let all the time go. And try and see when it was good to go. But every time I opened my wardrobe, it felt like was another gunshot going off. And then I just heard sirens, and then I was just trying to wait for some key signals to be able to leave my wardrobe in a way, to go out into my living room, to be able to have a little view to see if there was anything else happening or if it had died down. But yeah.
And when you heard those shots ring out, what was your sort of immediate reaction? Was everyone in the area sort of a bit shocked, surprised?
So I initially was just shocked. I didn't know what was going on. So as I said, like I was on my sofa, and I just heard like what sounded like fireworks. So I just went to the lifted my blind up, and I saw a guy letting off shots. And there was a few people on the floor. And then I just saw people running towards my way and then running up the street and down the other side of the street, and people just screaming. So I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And obviously my mind wasn't really processing everything. So I just heard my parents say, just take cover, and everyone was screaming, and it's a very, very scary situation.
And when did you then leave the house, or did you sort of stay in the house and watch it all unfold? Because you live right on that road that connects with the block of buildings, Campbell Parade, and then the beach. And so when did you leave the building?
So I didn't know what to do, because obviously I was on my own. So I was just in my apartment, in my wardrobe for the best part of, I would say, an hour and a half. Just trying to see what was going on, trying to hear, because where my bedroom is, the window was open, so I could hear certain, they were doing different speeches and things like this to try and give information and stuff like that. So I was trying to hear the best I could. And then after about 2 hours, when it started about 8 o'clock, Cassius, my friend, ran over to mine to basically try and pick me up and take me to his place. So we've just left my house now, on the way to his now.
Yeah. And how much time was it until police and emergency services started to flood in?
I think it was quite quickly, but in my mind it took ages, it took forever. But that was just because I was so shaken up, I didn't know what to do. It took a while. I think it took a while for the helicopters to come because my mum was saying about there should be a helicopter coming soon, and I couldn't hear one for ages, but it came, and it started to settle down after that. But it was, for the first initial, I'd say, good hour was just, it was mayhem outside.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having a chat with me, Finn, and make sure you go stay with some friends tonight and keep safe, all right? Yeah, no worries. And so that's just the latest from some of the people that have witnessed the tragedy down here on Bondi. 10 people confirmed dead, one of which is the shooter, the other shooter in custody, and 9 civilians have also died. And there's also reports that 12 people were also injured. And police now are just starting to get a gauge on the situation here in regards to a bomb threat, and they're bringing in specialist resources to deal with that bomb threat. And we understand that police will be holding a press conference at 9:30 tonight in Sydney's CBD.
Okay, Digby Worthmiller reporting there from Sydney. So we're expecting that key media conference in about 7 minutes. We'll bring you that live here on the news channel. We understand New South Wales Premier and Police Commissioner will also be there. Our reporters have been speaking to people through the evening. This only happened about 2.5, 3 hours ago. The devastating news that 10 people are dead. Let's hear now from some of the people our reporters have been speaking to.
My housemate here, we were driving to go pick up some house stuff. We literally live 2-minute drive up the road, and we always drive down this way. But we didn't see anything. But as we were driving up down Bondi Road, loads of police, loads of ambulance, that sort of thing. And then our friend rang us, who works in and around the area, and just said what they thought was going on. Obviously, just really, really scary, really scary. And pretty speechless, to be fair, pretty speechless.
It's a very sad day for Australia, man. I've been in the country for 31 years. I never believed basically that could have happened like that, something like that in Australia. But obviously, there's no place safe on earth at the moment. So God bless to the injured. My daughter's grandfather was shot I just got the news now. They got shot on a leg. He survived it. He's in a hospital now. Wish him a fast recovery.
There were just some witness accounts from people who were at Bondi Beach this afternoon. Our reporter Nick Dole has also spoken to another family. They were attending a bar mitzvah at Bondi, and they've spoken about the moment of the attack.
As a family at a bar mitzvah for a relative, and it started at 6:30, and at about 6:40 people started screaming, telling us to run inside. So we ran into behind the kitchen, and we were just hiding in a room, and there were lots of children there. Their parents weren't there because this was a kids' party basically, and lots of kids crying. It was really horrible.
How many shots do you think were ringing out?
50, 60. It just didn't stop for it seemed like 20 minutes. Yeah.
And you're inside the bar mitzvah as well?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
What was sort of going through your mind when you heard those bullets ringing out?
Probably just to get somewhere safe because it was very scary.
And what about some of your friends who you were with? Were you sort of all together, or did some of you get separated?
A lot of people got separated. I think half of the people ran outside as a response, and then the other half were hiding. But it was pretty hectic.
We were hiding in a room behind the kitchen for about 30 minutes, and it was really hot and stuffy. There were lots of people stressed out, crying. Eventually they let us out. I think a police officer came through. They moved us into a big hall and just said, get down low, stay away from the windows. And we sat in there for about an hour.
And insight there into the broader impacts of this. Obviously, there's the devastation for the friends and family of the 10 people who were killed, the gunman died, and 9 other people, 12 others injured. But there's the broader impacts as well. So many people traumatised by what happened at Bondi this afternoon.
We're waiting for a press conference with the New South Wales Premier and also the New South Wales Police Commissioner. We expect that to get underway in a matter of minutes. In the meantime, we have our reporter Casey Briggs in the studio with us. He's been keeping across vision that's been coming in, mis and disinformation, but also, Casey, there's been global reaction to this story. Talk us through what you're seeing.
Yeah, this is, Bella, obviously leading news all around the world. It has been picked up by the world's media, and there is an outpouring of grief happening worldwide, not just in Australia, where all state premiers and officials from around the country are offering their support, their well wishes, and their wishes for at least those that are injured, that they pull through this. But I'll bring you a few statements and comments from people around the world. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Christopher Luxon, has said Australia and New Zealand are closer than friends, we're family. I'm shocked by the distressing scenes at Bondi, a place that Kiwis visit every day. He says, my thoughts and the thoughts of all New Zealanders are with those affected. A bit further away, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, says this is deeply distressing news from Australia. He says the United Kingdom sends our thoughts and condolences to everyone affected by the appalling attack in Bondi Beach, and that he's being kept updated on the developing situation. And the opposition leader in the UK, Kemi Badenoch, heartbreaking scenes emerging from Bondi Beach on what looks like another despicable terrorist atrocity. As Jews across the UK gather to welcome Hanukkah, we must once again remind ourselves of the enduring power of the story, not only Jewish history, universal themes of resilience, courage and hope. Just a sample of some of the world leaders that are commenting on this tragedy. Of course, the Jewish community feeling particularly affected that Hanukkah event. This is the first night of Hanukkah, a big event being held on Bondi Beach. We've been very careful not to speculate on the motives of these gunmen, but certainly the Jewish community feels targeted in this attack. The Executive Council of Australian Jewry feels targeted. I suspect there are going to be Jewish people who are among the injured and killed, but we are still verifying much of that information. And we've heard, of course, earlier from the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog, who said, our sisters and brothers in Sydney have been attacked by vile terrorists in a very cruel attack on Jews who went to light the first candle of Hanukkah on Bondi Beach. The heart of the entire nation of Israel misses a beat at this very moment as we pray for the recovery of the wounded. We pray for them and we pray for those who lost their lives.
And Cassie, in that statement from the Israeli Prime Minister, he's using language and details that are yet to be confirmed by Australian authorities. We are waiting for that press conference, expecting it to happen in a matter of minutes. As you said, we've heard from members of the Jewish community who do say that they felt targeted by this. Are you seeing any other reaction online?
There are a lot of people commenting on the motivations, and this is where we again urge people to just be very careful about reading too much into what they see online at this point. But obviously, this is a community that is hurting tonight. That is, beyond a shadow of a doubt that this community is in real pain tonight. While we don't know much about the motives of the people involved, everyone's hearts are with those people that are affected as we wait to hear more information.
And Cassie, an important reminder, there's a lot of mis and disinformation on the internet at the moment.
Correct.
Okay, so it's just gone 9:30 Sydney time. We're expecting this key media conference from authorities to begin at any moment. While we wait for that to start, the ABC spoke to a man at the scene who was shot at by one of the gunmen. He's recounted the moment of the attack.
It's my first time I look this in my life. I am in Australia since 2 days. It's my first time. I say, and my friend go in the beach. I say one friend, what is the best beach? He say me Bondi Beach. For me there is security. I go in Bondi Beach. One house, I go water. One house after, I look two men, mini sniper. He say in the pond white and bomb, 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 everything, every man, bomb, bomb. I look this, me, and one moment the man in the gun, he say me, this me, I go before the car, yes.
He aimed at you?
Moi, there is one car, I say this, I'm cashed. I listen, boom, boom, I cashed. Après, I look one mother, there is comment c'est dit ça in English? Bungie, he say what? Scary, and sleep in the sleep. Me, I ramass the mother because there is big. I go, he's carried. He say me, please, call hospital. I call hospital. I go and one shop and pay one bottle for water. And me, my car is dead today. I look.
Your heart is dead today.
Yes, today I am scared to go to Bondi Beach, but no problem. But
a young man there in Australia for just 2 days and confronted with this situation where he was fired at by these gunmen who have killed 9 people at Bondi today and injured 12 others. That media conference that we've been waiting for, just hearing that that's been pushed back about 10 minutes. There's a live shot there from that media conference. We're expecting the New South Wales Premier, New South Wales Police Commissioner to speak at that. And any time that begins, we'll obviously bring you that live here on the news channel. Our reporter Digby Worthmuller is still on the scene at Bondi. Digby, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good evening. I'm down here at the north end of Bondi and I'm joined with Cassius, who's an Australian here. And Cassius, tell me, we're hearing some reports, eyewitnesses' reports of what they saw. What did you see coming out of icebergs this evening?
I just saw loads of people running on the beach. Everyone was shook up, didn't know what to do. I saw a few old ladies being pushed over in the commotion. Everyone was just freaked out and didn't really know what was happening because it's just like, Bondi Beach is the most safest place in the world. No one expects it to happen. And then when I got everyone to safety in Bondi Icebergs, I ran down to see if my mate was okay. He was just staying right where it was happening. And then, while I was running down, he was shook up. He saw the whole thing happen, unfold. And, it's really sad to see. I saw a few bodies laying on the ground, and it's just not what you want to see in Australia. It's like very sad to see on a lovely Sunday, And people that commit these crimes, there's no place for them in this world. There's no place for them. You got to throw the death penalty at them because you don't do that to innocent people.
And it's tragic what has gone on here. In terms of what you saw, though, when those gunshots rang out, were you in icebergs and then you came out?
I was in icebergs, then I came out, and then I could hear the whole thing happening, and it was weird. It felt like it was just fireworks going off, but then when everyone was running, I could hear it it went for a good 5 to 10 minutes, just people running, screaming, and it was something like I was having a bad dream or something. It just didn't seem right. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
And after those sort of gunshots rang out in the sort of aftermath, was emergency services pretty quick to come in the helicopter?
To be fair, my honest opinion, I think they were a bit late to the scene. And I'm not blaming emergency services or the police because you don't expect none of this. Never happens. This never happens. But there was a good 10 minutes of this commotion happening, gunshots happening, everything. And it's just so sad to see. And I just want to give applaud to the old man who tackled that shooter. He deserves all the praise in the world because it's very brave to do what he did, put his body on the line to save more people from getting killed. And I wish if I was in that position, I'd hope I'd do the same thing. But massive applause to that guy.
Well, thank you for speaking with me and stay safe out there tonight.
Stay safe.
Thank you. And so we'll just be hearing shortly that press conference that got pushed out in 10 minutes. We'll get a little bit more detail of exactly what has happened down here.
Thanks very much, Digby. In breaking news just in, a senior law enforcement official has confirmed that one of the gunmen was Naveed Akram from Bonnyrigg in Sydney's southwest. The official was speaking on condition of anonymity and said Akram's home in Bonnyrigg is currently being raided by police. Now, that has come through from one of ABC Investigations reporters, Sean Rubenstein Dunlop. That's a tip-off that he's got. We are waiting for more information when we have this official press conference, which we do expect to begin in a matter of minutes. In the meantime, we might go to Catherine Merchant, who works at Triple J. She was at Bondi Beach and says the shots sounded like they went on for minutes. Catherine, have we got you there?
Yeah.
Catherine, explain to us what you saw, what you heard.
Well, I was walking along the beach, which is one of my favourite things to do, and then everyone was just running and there were bullets and there were so many of them and we were really scared. We didn't know where they were coming from.
I'm sorry, Catherine, I know it's really hard what you've been through.
But I'm thoroughly guilty because I wasn't even right where those poor people were. But we just didn't know. And we were just running and running, and I was thinking, we're not going to hide. So we didn't know whether to go up toward the icebergs or whether to hide in the bushes and behind the rocks. And there were people who didn't speak English, and they were crying and crying, and I was so scared. Because it sounds silly, but we thought maybe someone had taken one of those surf life-saving buggy things, and they were just driving around the beach shooting people. We just didn't know, and there was so many bullets. And I just call my son. He's just a teenager, and I just was like, what's happening? We don't know what's happening. Anyway, after a while, finally the police came. There were sirens, and we thought maybe we were safe, but then all these people started running from another direction, from the icebergs coming down to our spot, and we didn't know if there was another gun person coming from another direction. And then eventually things quietened down. There was a lot of gun smoke, but we knew, I guess, we could start to come out and then go from there. And, then we started to realize what had actually happened. So, yeah, it was just really sad.
And Catherine, your tears and your emotion just capture how monumental this event is, how deeply upsetting and catastrophic it is for people from this community who would never expect something like this to happen. Can you think about what you were feeling in those moments, or were you just racing to survive and to get away or to help others?
I think, I think we all weren't really, we just were all terrified and trying to think of a place to hide. And my son and his dad, and they were just trying to just telling me to stay calm, and they were trying to figure out what was happening. And then I called my old boyfriend, and he was trying to figure out what was happening. And I think it was handy to have a phone, because then the people I called were just saying, just don't move, just stay. And I was like, okay, stay. But I guess I thought about those poor people.
Appreciate that you're very busy. When you get a chance, can I please confirm all car numbers of crews returning to Randwick with the gear?
Around the world who live with this every day. And I don't know, Bondi is just such a special place to me.
As a short officer time, any chance you can clear for a cat 2 chest pain should be nothing.
Good if I don't feel good, and I take millions of boring photos all the time of Bondi and the sun setting, and it was
City 2441, are you on the air? 441.
It was just awful. It was awful. And then realizing it was fuck, it's just awful.
And Catherine, it's obviously difficult to keep track of time in a situation like this, but have you got any idea about how long it felt like it went on for?
I felt like there was 10 minutes of shooting.
Yeah, that's what everyone seems to be saying.
Yeah, and then it was really good when you finally started to hear police cars, but even when you heard police sirens, it felt like there was still a lot of shooting.
It comes up in 57 green, further wide form, small branch across HV wide. There's no public risk, energy to continue on to inspect.
Yeah,
no brigade action.
I know we're so lucky, the people that I was with, that we weren't right in that spot, but we just didn't know.
Wiring to the pole, which is a light pole.
We didn't know what was happening.
Next to the bus stop.
When it finally got
we have disconnected the battery and made safe by placing in a bucket of water. We possibly still need an energy authority to have a look at the light pole fittings as they're damaged.
It's so sad for that community. It's such a special place, and I just feel really I feel like I won't want to go there anymore.
Yeah, it's obviously going to have a massive impact on the friends and relatives of the people who died, but so many other people as well.
Yeah, and I feel for all the people who've suffered.
18 lithium-ion battery for the bus stop was alive, and the pole wire is damaged.
Anyway.
Pole wires. You
Okay,
disconnected the battery and made safe
thanks
placing
for
the battery in
talking
the
to
bucket
us
of
and
water.
stay
You
safe.
still require energy to assess damage to the live pole wires.
So we're waiting for this key media conference. There's been this horrific event in Bondi this afternoon from one of the witnesses earlier. They thought it began probably about 6:40. This is the pictures that we've seen. This is the bridge just north of, and it's distressing to hear those gunshots.
Where exactly are you?
The bridge just north of the Bondi Pavilion that goes
Yeah,
over
sorry,
the car
Tom,
park
just take the
area
topic. Just
towards the beach.
seen some police
This
vehicles
is the
just
moment that man, we don't know if he's a plainclothes police officer or civilian, wrenches the gun off one of the gunmen who was firing into a crowd of people celebrating Hanukkah. And then you see another boy. It looks like it could just be a boy.
With us, one refused assessment. We have two other drivers that do require assessment by ambulance. So if you could please attach another ambulance crew one. There's negative code 9, airbags with the
shots of him then firing at the other people. As I've heard from the witnesses, this just went on for such an interminably long period of time, for 10 minutes, that they were apparently, that's what the witnesses say, were firing into this crowd of people celebrating Hanukkah. Police,
aluminium frame window,
we've heard since
fall from
10
level 7,
people dead,
unit 77,
including one of the gunmen,
onto the pavement
and
below.
12 people injured,
No one's injured.
including 2 police officers.
Just getting to work.
There were concerns that there was an explosive device, possibility of an explosive device. Police have said that they've come across something that is a suspected device that they're checking out at the moment. We haven't had a key media conference. We're expecting that to begin at any moment with the New South Wales Premier and also the Police Commissioner. But this emergency was unfolding not only at Bondi this afternoon, but throughout the streets of Sydney, with sirens going, ambulances ferrying people to hospitals, and just horrible situation. And
612.
something that will scar Sydney for
we're happy to handle given the distance.
I think what's become apparent too, Joe, is just how international this community is. We've heard from witnesses from all over the world. People who've only been in Australia for a number of days. People from Brazil, the UK, America, other parts of Europe, and they were caught up in this event. We've heard from people who've just arrived from Europe for what they were hoping was the holiday of a lifetime, and they described sheltering behind cars, having no idea what was happening, being caught up in the frenzy. Heard from some other people who were at the scene who say people were running away but they didn't speak English. Some of those international tourists saying that they never expected something like this to happen on their Australia trip, that they thought Australia was an inherently safe place, and really shocked about what they've experienced and what they've lived through. We have a number of reporters who have been at Bondi Beach since reports of this first broke out. They've described watching that scene change. Reporters were arriving as people were still running away, as police were still establishing a scene there. And very quickly they said emergency service have really pushed a lot of the public away from the scene. But we have heard that there are family members, people who are very concerned, who came down to the beach trying to look for loved ones, looking for answers. So just an extremely upsetting, distressing, scary time for anyone from that Bondi community, especially for anyone who may have lost someone in this event, but Bondi Beach is such a loved place in Australia. It holds such a place in the hearts of Sydney-siders, of many people around Australia and from many people around the world who wanted to come and see this national icon, the beautiful Bondi Beach, and instead who have experienced this devastating tragedy.
And we've also got reporter Casey Briggs with us, who's been monitoring international comment on this and comment from other officials. Casey, can you take us through some of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen comments online comparing this to the Bataclan attack in France as the sort of, marker of how significant an event, an iconic location in Sydney that is internationally renowned, as Bella, you said. Tourists flock there, and so it has been noticed, and we've seen world leaders all around the world. We've had Christopher Luxon, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, calling Australia and New Zealand family. He says he's shocked by the distressing scenes at Bondi, a place that Kiwis visit every day. We've seen comments of support and well wishes from the UK, from Keir Starmer and the opposition leader Kemi Badenoch. We've seen quite a bit of commentary out of the Israeli government as well, given this is an event that has taken place at or alongside a Hanukkah event, the first night of Hanukkah, the lighting of the candles happening at Bondi Beach. Lots of people there. And again, without speculating on the motives of anyone involved, we're waiting on information to be verified on that front. That has not stopped a lot of people, obviously, commenting on how hurt the Jewish community are. And we've seen even comments from some Israeli government officials sort of starting to sheet blame at the Australian government for, in some way enabling these sorts of events. Now, let's wait to see exactly what gets verified, but certainly a lot of very strong feelings around the world about what's happening tonight.
Thanks, Casey. And the ABC has spoken to a man at the scene who was shot at by one of the gunmen. He's recounted the moment of that attack.
It's my first time I look this in my life. I am in Australia since 2 days. It's my first time. I say, and my friend go in the beach. I say one friend, what is the best beach? He say me Bondi Beach. For me there is security. I go in Bondi Beach. One house, I go water. One house after, I look two men, mini sniper. He say in the pond white and bomb, 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 everything, every the man, bomb, bomb. I look this, me, and one moment the man in the gun, he say me this, me. I go before the car. Yes.
He aimed at you.
Me, moi. There is one car. I say this. I'm cashed. I listen, boom, boom, I cashed. Après, I look one mother, there is comment c'est dit ça in English? Bondi. He say what? Scary, and sleep in the sleep. Me, I ramass the mother because there is big. I go, he's carried. He say me, please, call hospital. I call hospital. I go on the one shop and pay one bottle for water, and my car is dead today. I look.
Your heart is dead today.
Yes, today I am scared to go to Bondi Beach, but no problem. But
my housemate here, we were driving to go pick up some house stuff. We literally live 2-minute drive up the road, and we always drive down this way. But we didn't see anything. But as we were driving up down Bondi Road, loads of police, loads of ambulance, that sort of thing. And then our friend rang us, who works in and around the area, and just said what they thought was going on. Obviously, just really, really scary, really scary. And pretty speechless, to be fair, pretty speechless.
It's a very sad day for Australia, man. I've been in a country for 31 years. I never believed that could have happened like that, something like that in Australia. But obviously, there's no place safe on earth at the moment. So, God bless to the injured. My daughter's grandfather was shot I just got the news now. They got shot on a leg. He survived it. He's in a hospital now. Wish him a fast recovery.
Some accounts there of people who were at the scene this afternoon at Bondi Beach at that distressing attack. Just to recap for our audience, a tip from our ABC Investigations reporter, Sean Rubenstein Dunlop. He has spoken to a senior law enforcement officer who has confirmed that one of the gunmen's names is Naveed Akram from Bondi Rig in Sydney's southwest. Now, that official was speaking on the condition of anonymity, but he said that Akram's home in Bondi Rig is currently being raided by police. We are still waiting for a major press conference with the New South Wales Police Commissioner and also the New South Wales Premier, where we will get many more details of this, hopefully confirmed more details, many questions in people's minds. We are going to cross now to our reporter Digby Worth-Muller, who is at the scene in Bondi Beach. Any updates from you there, Digby? You've been there with a police media officer all night.
Yeah, evening. We arrived down here a little bit before 8 after the shooting took place at 7 p.m. this evening. The wind is starting to pick up here down at the exclusion zone. We're right now at the police cordon, and just down to my right you can see the Bondi North RSL. So that is down that way, and there's emergency services stretching from all the way down from the Bondi North RSL all the way up Campbell Parade towards where the shooting took place. And you can still see that there's a number of emergency service vehicles here at the moment as they work through that bomb threat, which is still in place. What we do know at this time, there's still very limited information that we can provide you from what we already know, but what we do know is that 10 people have died, one of which is the shooter, and 9 which are civilians. We also understand that another 12 people have been injured in this shooting. Where I'm standing, there's a number of media that have positioned themselves as they provide updates, as well as police. And we can even see that there's still members of the public, people who witnessed the attack, standing, talking to media. And so down here at the moment, people are just trying to get their head around what exactly has happened here at Bondi. Just coming over here, we can see police are now starting to leave the scene in a number of vehicles. I'll step to the side so you can get this shot. A police van there now leaving, followed by another van. Specialist resources have been brought in this evening as a credible bomb threat, as they still try to work out whether there is still a bomb threat in place. And I'm sure that when that press conference goes live a little bit later tonight, we'll get a little bit more info on that bomb threat. Police did believe that a bomb was under the bridge between Bondi, where the grass was, a car park, and Campbell Parade. There's a small bridge there where they thought there might be a bomb threat. But then there's also concern that perhaps the cars that the shooters came in may hold explosives. And so we'll find out more from that press conference that'll happen a little bit later tonight.
Yeah, Digby, just on that point, we initially heard there was concerns there, they suspected there might be a device. Has there been confirmation that there was an IED found, or it's still at the stage where it's a suspected explosive device?
At this stage on the ground, all that I've been told by the media team is there was a suspected IED under that bridge between Campbell Parade and Bondi Beach by that grassy knoll. I can't confirm with you whether that has been, whether they've resolved that issue or not. What I do know is that there is an exclusion place, a 50-metre exclusion place, and people are just asked to avoid the area as well as to stay away from those police cordons and allow police and emergency services to do their jobs. But I think what we'll find out, hopefully in that press conference a little later tonight, is the specifics around whether that bomb threat has been resolved and whether they've gone through each of those cars, because what police have to do is go meticulously through each vehicle that's parked along where Campbell Parade is and the car park there along Bondi Beach to see if there is any threat inside that vehicle that could detonate. And so it's a meticulous job that police now have to do, and it takes time. We can't get those answers to you right now because police still have to bring in those specialist resources and get to work and find out exactly where that threat could be, or if there is even a threat.
Okay, Digby Worthmuller reporting there from Bondi Beach. And just repeating that we were initially expecting this media conference from police and all the major officials, this key media conference, to start about half an hour ago. They put it back and back and back. The latest is it's due to start within the next 5 minutes or so, but obviously with what's happened so far, that could be fluid. But regardless, we will bring you that live here on the ABC News channel with word through the terrible news that 10 people have died in this mass murder at Bondi Beach. That's what it is, a mass murder at Bondi Beach today. That happened about 6:40 when people were meeting for a festival, Hanukkah festival, and 2 gunmen fired into the crowd. We haven't heard a detailed statement from police. We've just got bits of information so far and the video that we've seen from people who were in the area at the time. So there's some of that video now with that man who wrenched the gun off one of the gunmen and then came under fire from the other gunman. So that media conference from officials will be key to this, and obviously there'll be a lot of people interested to hear what authorities have to say, and that's expected to begin within the next couple of minutes. We'll bring you that live here on the news channel.
We might just go now to our reporter Casey Briggs, who has been in the studio with us. You've been monitoring international reaction, also the reaction here in Australia. What are you seeing?
And obviously when we have such a serious incident as this, a mass murder event with 9 civilians that have been killed, at least, that number, we must remember, may still rise because there are a lot of injured people that have been taken to hospitals as well. Obviously all agencies and all governments are mobilising on the response and the reaction to this. So as we wait to hear from the New South Wales Premier and the New South Wales Police Commissioner, we can also report that the Prime Minister has convened a meeting of the Cabinet's National Security Committee. That's a committee of 9 senior ministers, and they're receiving briefings from all security agencies, and that includes the Australian Federal Police. So that, I presume, meeting, if it's not already underway, is happening will be happening shortly, so I dare say we may hear more from the federal government and the Prime Minister, presumably before the end of the night. And I might also just add, just as we've been speaking, a statement from the Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, has been sent out. I'm reading this for the first time, so let's read it together. The Governor-General says, "Tonight, Australians are in shock, distress and sadness watching the tragic events that have unfolded in Bondi. We've all witnessed terrible and heartbreaking scenes and now know that many lives have been lost and many more injured." The Governor-General says, "I speak on behalf of all Australians in expressing my deepest condolences to everybody affected. Australians have also witnessed extraordinary acts of heroism by so many today. Brave members of the public, as we've been seeing in the vision that has been verified by ABC News that we're bringing you tonight." The Governor-General also says devoted first responders, including police officers, emergency service personnel, ambulance officers and the dedicated hospital teams who are now providing care to those injured. The statement goes on. "Tonight, Australians across the country are in heartbreak, particularly
we're struggling
right across the country. Our thoughts are with all those impacted. In days ahead, I think this is a message for us all to remember, in days ahead, Sam Mostyn says we will need to show care for one another and help everyone through this deeply traumatic event. I join others in imploring everyone in Sydney to continue to follow the advice of authorities, in particular the police, as they deal with this terrible and complex situation." So that comment from the Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, just a short time ago. And it brings back, as Jeremy Fernandez was reporting earlier, Isabella, it brings back memories of just over, a year and a half ago, that attack at Bondi Junction. Sydney is unfortunately felt this way before.
We're actually just going to go to Jeremy Fernandez now.
Actually, we'll go to the media conferences, beginning with the New South Wales Premier.
I appreciate you all being here on a very distressing night in Sydney. At approximately 6:47 this evening, 2 individuals began firing on a crowded group of families on Bondi Beach at Archer Park. This cowardly act of terrifying violence is shocking and painful to see and represents some of our worst fears about terrorism in Sydney. I very sadly need to report that as of now, there are at least 12 individuals that have been killed. One of the offenders has also been killed and one is in custody. This attack was designed to target Sydney's Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah. What should have been a night of peace and joy celebrated in that community with families and supporters has been shattered by this horrifying, evil attack. Commissioner Lanyon will speak about the investigation, the police response, as well as the designation of this attack as a terrorism event in Sydney. I can assure the community it will be met with a massive, comprehensive police and public order response. Our heart bleeds for Australia's Jewish community tonight. I can only imagine the pain that they're feeling right now to see their loved ones killed as they celebrate this ancient holiday. It's the responsibility of all Australians to wrap their arms around Australia's Jewish community and help them get through this incredibly difficult period. This is a massive, complex and just beginning investigation. It's just begun, and there are things that tonight we don't have the answers to. However, we do have answers to some crucial pieces of information for our wonderful city and our beautiful state. The first one is the outpouring of love and support from ordinary Australians for Australia's Jewish community is real. Secondly, today is another example of the enormous pressure and responsibility, the danger that New South Wales Police regularly face as part of their job. They do it without faltering. They didn't falter today. We need them. And thirdly, tonight saw extraordinary acts of personal courage and bravery from individuals in our community. And I think it's worth remembering that in all of this evil, in all of this sadness, there are still wonderful, brave Australians that are prepared to risk their lives to help a complete stranger. Mal?
Thank you, Premier. Good evening. Premier has outlined the brief circumstances this evening. I'll go through them again. They're more than happy to take some questions. About 6:47 p.m. this evening, police started to receive a number of reports of shots fired at Archer Park at Bondi. Archer Park is a grassed area just north of the Bondi Pavilion. Police responded promptly. Unfortunately, at least 12 people are deceased at this time. 29 people have been transported to various hospitals around the Sydney area, including 2 police officers. The condition of those officers and the other transported are serious, but there is a range of conditions. Our thoughts, prayers and love go to all the families and all of those that were involved tonight. We know that there were many people there to celebrate a happy occasion, the celebration of Hanukkah, and there was well over 1,000 people there when this took place. As a result of the circumstances of the incident tonight, at 9:36 p.m. this evening, I declared this to be a terrorist incident. I have also authorised special powers under Section 5 and Section 6 to ensure that if there is a third offender, and we are currently investigating that at the moment, we will make sure that we prevent any further activity. Section 6 allows us to investigate today's incident. There is a massive police response, and I think as journalists you have seen how quickly and promptly the police responded. I'm incredibly proud of the professionalism of our police and emergency service responders. They have done a fantastic job. Unfortunately, it's only several years ago that Bondi occurred at Bondi Junction. We have learnt a lot from that, and tonight ambulance and police and other emergency responders acted promptly and professionally to do a great job there. We will have a significant investigation. Our Counter-Terrorism Command will lead this investigation with investigators from the State Crime Command. No stone will be left unturned. This type of disgraceful activity, this wanton use of violence, the taking of innocent lives is unacceptable to New South Wales. It's not our way of life. I've been very clear since I've been the Commissioner that as a police force, we won't stand for this type of violence. I'm personally offended. You have seen that the police have already taken prompt action. The Premier has mentioned one of the offenders is deceased, the second one is in serious condition at hospital. We will focus to ensure that there is no further threat to the public. Could I ask, but this is a time of calm. This is a time where I want to make sure that there is no retribution. The police are investigating thoroughly. We have acted promptly. We have taken decisive action. Could I just ask for calm in the community? Allow the police to do our job. We will work closely with community and I'll continue to provide updates about the investigation as they go on. Thank you. I'll hand over to the Minister and then happy to take questions. Sorry.
Do we have an age range of the victims? I've got 6 early days of those deceased.
No, very early, sorry. I don't have those details at the moment. As you can imagine, there has been a fair dislocation. The ambulance service responded brilliantly. They've had to convey people right around the city to numerous hospitals. So at this stage, we don't have those details.
Commissioner, does the 12 people...
Sorry, can I just ask one at a time? Sorry.
Commissioner, do you have any intelligence about the 2 shooters?
We're working through that at the moment. Obviously, part of the declaration is because I have information about the deceased shooter. It's not something I'm prepared to give at the moment. It will be part of the investigation, but we will work tirelessly through our counter-terrorism command to make sure we investigate all of the circumstances.
Commissioner, the 12 people that are deceased...
Do they include the gunman that is deceased, or is the gunman additional to that 12?
We've set up to 12 deceased at the moment. This is a really fluid situation. I would like to provide more certainty, but certainly the numbers that we are talking at the moment include the gunman.
Were any children among the deceased?
At this stage, I don't believe so. However, I do believe that a child was transported to hospital. Again, I don't want to give information that turns out to be incorrect. It is very early. We know that there has been a number of people turn up to hospital. We've had 29 others transported, and we know people are still turning up there.
What gives you reason to think there might be a gun person around?
Unfortunately, in these sort of circumstances, we get information from a range of areas. We tend to be as safe as we possibly can so that we know that we have 2 definite offenders, but we want to make sure the community is safe. So we will run down this investigation. The reason that we have so many investigators out tonight is we can make sure that that happens. The fact that we've declared this as a terrorist incident, we've provided special powers, is to make sure that we prevent any further. I cannot confirm there is a 3rd offender, but I want to make sure there's no stone left unturned.
Some news outlets are reporting a home in Bondi is being raided. Can you confirm that?
No, I'm well aware on social media that an identity of a person believed to be one of the gunmen has been circulated there. When I ask for calm, that is really important. This is not a time for retribution. This is a time to allow the police to do their duty. So police are responding to make sure that all of the community is safe. That is our role.
What can you tell us about public order riots, brought officers raiding homes? Is that happening right now?
What I'd say to you is that we have police right around the city at the moment to make sure that all of the community is safe. I don't want to go into too much specific activity. Our job is to respond to intelligence we get, respond to information, but make sure the community is safe. So unashamedly, we do have a lot of public order and riot squad and other police out on the streets at the moment to make sure there is calm. This disgraceful act will not go unpunished.
Given it was a Hanukkah event,